What's up, guys? So, I'm just doing my arena, cross server arena anyway. And this is kind of how my build plays. If you've never seen how my build is actually used. And again, these guys are all lower power than me, so it's not as big of a deal. But like, here you can see how even just a well-placed, well-timed fight. Okay. This guy's all Counter-Strike. Like 106% Counter-Strike. And that's part of the reason why, if you go into it expecting like a certain class to be more superior than the other, it really just depends. I mean, because like here, I'm doing great, right? But other times, I'll run into somebody that is just as good, if not better. Like here, this is a skilled mage, and the mage does great because it does a bunch of DPS at one time. And that's part of the reason why they work so well. The downside to that, though, is that, just like Counter-Strike takes advantage of every hit to swing back and then heal, skills-wise, that's one of the reasons why I kind of drifted away from a mage. Now, like here, that was almost tied. And this particular build here is, again, another Counter-Strike Warbringer. So generally, if you're going into this, you kind of want to avoid fights where you were up against somebody that is like, for example, here's an Arrow God, right? This is Plume Monarch versus Arrow God. And, 1-to-1, it's easy to see how that's going to play out. Even though I'm stronger, it's a pretty easy, obvious win. But like here, okay, this guy's 32k. I just thought it'd be really comparable. And we're both the same class, both similar in how we play. Oh, Lord. But yeah, anyway, you can kind of get an idea of why the counter builds work so well against Plume Monarchs. You could see, it's like time and time again. You can see how different builds are kind of leveraging different ways to approach it, but every time they approach it, they end up usually in a, even though their power ranking's higher, that doesn't necessarily equate to winning against whatever. That's why I've always suggested doing the build the way I've been doing it. Because I learned it from when I was doing a Holy Guide build, is that this combination of skills is really, really overpowered. Because you can stun lock the living hell out of somebody, and then you're able to do DPS constantly during those stun locks. And that's part of the reason why it works so well. Now, you might be wondering, well, what exactly are your delay times set to? So, I have half a second, 1.5 seconds, and then the rest have no delay. So all I'm doing is popping off my disarm a little later, and then I'm setting my shield a little later. Otherwise, I use the clone to start, and it's just to give myself a little bit of time. Outside of that, it's not really going to do a whole lot for me, really. It's just to add to that delay, give you a little bit more extra time, which is usually enough to fire off away and continuously kill as you're, working through the, whether you're doing PvE or PvP, it's like I'm still focusing heavily on the PvP element of this. And I can't say I've really looked at the PvE element of this build very much at all. Like, if there's anything I'm going to tweak, probably just to increase DPS at all, I'll probably start relooking at, once I get Octopus, I'll probably start finagling the different types of combinations that I can pull off here. But anyway, that's really about all I had to say for today. It's not really a lot to mention on that subject. You guys have probably seen the defeat the pumpkin monster. If you're wondering how to beat this, basically start from the bottom, and you're aiming to hit all 4 at a time. So you always want to look for combinations that'll allow you to do that. So like here, I'll go ahead and do this, and that's going to fire off a bunch of those. Then like in this case, I need a candy cane to move over here, and I need a brick to move over there. So we're just going to do this. And we'll move this over to fire that off. We'll probably get away with, if I move this here, move that there, move this here. And let's do this. And then that. That. I may not be able to get it in the full amount of moves, which is fine, but the main thing is you want to strike in the general direction that they're in. You don't want to hit where they're not, if that makes any sense. Probably this. There. I did a 2-star, you know. You can usually get a 10 or less move if you just find the correct combinations as far as the pumpkin monster is concerned, but that's kind of the running logic. In any case, you know, of course, with my current build, I haven't tweaked anything too major in terms of what we've got going on for skill rush and relic rush. You know, it's just like anything, you just got to dump more and more into the relics. You got to dump in as many skills as you can during this part of the event. Right now I've got pretty much almost every piece of relic now up to 60. I don't have very many left. I think I've actually got almost all of them. Yeah, so like I've got a couple here that I can do. So I'll get a little bit, but as you can tell, I got almost all the other ones up to 60. So, well, except for that. So there's like one more piece in there I gotta do. But, I mean, that's kind of the idea. You know, you're just working on your progression as much as you can. As far as prayers go, I've got like 39k. So let's go ahead and see if we can run for a combo here. It'd be nice if we could get a nice combo. We'll see if we'll get it, though. Oh, triple S boss damage. If only. If only. I don't need it. If only, though. If only. I just need combo, which is what makes this so dreadful. We're running out of food. Damn it. Well, that's unfortunate. So, we will eventually get a set of triple S, but we're a ways away from that. But that's kind of what you aim to do, at least in a Plume Monarch build, is you want to get your set completely full of triple S or quad S plus combo. You know, because if you can, that's going to be a huge boon to your fighting capability. Obviously, in Parking Wars, you want to make sure you've got your server spots and your cross server spots, and then you want to make sure you're guarding. And then occasionally you can go out and look for options for, you know, if they're not in peace, you could plunder, if that option's available to you. In my case, I don't have that option, so I'm just going to have to wait until the opportunity arises. I guess I could probably go ahead and pop this off, though. So I've already finished this skill tree. I'm now on the bottom skill tree, and there's a stupid amount of stats in the research here. So I've got that going for me as well. But like anything, you know, you got to drill down, you got to mine in order to get the actual ore. And this is where I think late game you find yourself really depending on the ore and the prayer a lot. You know, because outside of what you get in mounts and the different skills and such that are out there, and again, if you guys didn't already know, coming up here on the 10th, we'll have a whole event coming up, so stay tuned for that, because that's coming up. And once those really kind of kick off, then we'll really be in for a real show. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.